All right, how we doing today, YouTubers? So today, I want to talk a little bit about my journey. I think I've made a video in the past about low T, and I mentioned how I struggled with this for a while and didn't really even know it because of the lifestyle I was living. I was the college. I fell into the college lifestyle, the partying, the drinking, the staying out late, the not sleeping, just eating a bunch of pizza rolls and ramen and macaroni and burritos and wash it down with some Miller Lite. That was the whole diet. I was training hard. I was um, fairly active, but again, all that activity was covered up by all the junk that I was putting into my body and the lack of sleep. I was giving it all these stresses and stressing over school and finding a job then after college and that type of stuff, all that extra stress. And it led me to being just, so let's take it back a little, just worn out. So just tired all the time, no energy, bad mood, playing baseball in the summers, all getting injured all the time. I think I tore my hamstring 3 years in a row. And then just stuff that you shouldn't happen when you're in your 20s, and getting into your 30s. So again, I was always didn't know why. I was training balls a little while all the time. After college, I really started cleaning up my nutrition. I started eating better. I was 197 pounds, I think. That's the most I ever saw on the scale. I was probably more than that at one point. Um, Graduating college. So this was what, I don't know. Hey man, I can't remember. So I graduated in 2010. So 14-ish years ago. I went to grad school for a year. So yeah, 13, 14 years ago probably. I was about 197. I'm 5'8", so it wasn't a good 190. Yeah, there was muscle in there. Like I said, I trained all throughout college. I became obsessed and addicted to training in college, which was one of the positives. Not much else positive from college, um, as far as like habits and stuff like that. But training was one of them. But I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating well. I thought the training could outweigh the crappy diet and sleep, which with my genetics, not possible. If you're DK Metcalf, yes, you can out train a bad diet. But me, no, that didn't happen. Um, but again, so yeah, I graduated 197. I think was the highest I ever saw on the scale. Like I said, it probably was more than that at one point. Probably it was over 200, and it wasn't good. Double chin, the beer belly, that type of stuff, the extra fat that you don't need, you don't want. It becomes depressing and embarrassing. Take your shirt off, those types of things. But other than that, even that led me to changing my nutrition after college. I got down to like low 140s, even high 130s. So I became super strict. So I went from that being a fat turd to being a too lean, too skinny. Um, Again, so that kind of far into the spectrum. Neither of those are good for your health, for your wellness. So again, then it was like, oh, I gotta eat more. So still was eating good, training still like an idiot. In your 20s, that's what you do, and you learn from those things. You learn from being dumb and training too hard all the time, and not resting and relaxing. But again, building off that, going to that, I still didn't feel good. I looked pretty good. I was lean. I got back into like 150s, 160s, and was always around there where I am right now. But I still didn't feel good. I had no energy. My mood was angry at the world and always depressed and those types of things. I fall asleep basically driving home in rush hour traffic a lot of times at like 3, 4 in the afternoon. And it wasn't until one day, this was about 6 years ago now. I thought maybe it was more, but it was probably right around when I was turning 30s. I had started making changes. My partying, that stuff was way slowed down. Didn't do that as much. Didn't drink as much. Still did a little, some, but not like I was in college. And still wasn't sleeping very well, and that kind of really turned out to be the root cause Again, I was eating pretty good. Um, Not eating enough fats, probably, which was kind of what led me to, again, 6 years, about almost exactly 6 years ago, looking at my health record thing on the my chart thing for my doctor at Alina. Um, it's July 9th, 2018. So yeah, I'm recording this on the 10th. So yeah, almost exactly a year ago, or 6 years ago, I made a schedule to go in to do some blood work to get my testosterone levels checked after listening to, I think it was a Joe DeFranco podcast. I'm pretty sure he was talking about blood work and how guys and everyone should get their blood work done, but you should get it done yearly and or even a couple times a year, especially testosterone, and how testosterone plays a role in how you feel inside and outside. And so I was like, oh, might as well do it. And I feel like crap. What's the worst that can hurt? They tell me something's wrong. I already know something's wrong. I just want to get to the root cause. Again, following up even with my last video about kicking the crutches. It was, I feel good because, I look good. That was kind of my crutch. I look good on the outside, but I feel like garbage. And using that excuse, just because I have abs and I'm lean doesn't mean I am healthy. That was just that story I told myself. I'm lean, I'm healthy. When you can be lean and still be healthy, which I wasn't. It was because I wasn't doing everything I needed. So I get my testosterone checked, it was a Saturday morning. I remember it was a River Falls days because we had a baseball game that Friday night. I didn't go out because I had to get up early, go into the hospital and give blood on a Saturday morning. I think they charged me more too because I did that, which, screw you. They always take your money no matter what you do at the doctor. Then they make you wait half the hour too, even if you show up on time. Same with a dentist. Never go early because you're never going to get in early. But that's a whole other story. So I got the results back. And my results came back 37 ng per DL. I'm actually going to look it up. What that actually stands for. I think it's deciliter or something. Nanograms per deciliter. So 37. You may be wondering what that is. Well, let me tell you that there's different normal ranges depending on who you go to for a source. But the one on my doctors say the normal range is 240 to 950 ng per DL. Mine was 37. So I'll let that sink in of how extremely low that is. That's probably like worse than like a 90-year-old man. There's probably females with more testosterone than that. I'm not totally sure on the testosterone, but I know guys, we have more testosterone because, yes, I think we all know why. But again, it's super low, and I was like kind of freaked out. And again, testosterone can vary throughout the day depending on what you do too. So staying up late for a baseball game, not getting a ton of sleep probably didn't help. But again, if you work out hard before, that can have effects and stuff like that. So there's different factors that play into the level. It depends on the time of day you get tested. I think morning's best because then you can fast and be ready, and not train or anything beforehand. That's what I do every time now, except for this last time because, I still didn't, but I didn't do training and stuff like that. But I'll tell you that story when we get to it. But so it kind of falls in with the showing up on time, but I'll tell you that here in a little bit. But yeah, 37. So again, that's just alarming how low that really is. It's like, dang, that was kind of that final nail in the coffin. Like, now it's time to really dial in and take our health to the next level, because I was 29, 30 at the time, and I had a 37 testosterone level, which is, again, probably worse than 90-year-old men. So I had to come up. I did my research, did my study, and figuring out what I can do, because I was out, like I said, I was training. It was time to change up my training, so I hired a coach. Got a decent training plan, and actually it was time to get rid of the coach that I was working with because their training was just balls to the wall all the time. So it was like, I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna start doing my research and experimenting on myself. So actually, it was getting off working with a coach at that time and doing some different programs that more suitable, training like an athlete, more of a high-low approach. Some days are higher, some days are lower, some days are medium, and just auto-regulating and adjusting. You don't have to do the workout just because your coach tells you to. You are your best coach, honestly. It's about learning, and it's time for me to start learning my body, and this kind of got me into moving towards wanting to be a coach. I was still working a crappy job. That stress didn't help. That probably played a huge role in my testosterone. So that stressing out of working for people I hated, working a job I hated, which caused me to not sleep, staying up late. That was number one culprit. Again, because my nutrition was pretty good. I think the big thing was that I worked with Cody McBroom as a nutrition coach, and he really helped me figure out things that I could do. It was a lot of eating more healthier fats because I was a lot of lower fat, high carb, high protein, lower fat. So adding in more quality fats, I think helped a lot too. Combining that with a lot more sleep, where I'm getting 7.5, probably average at least 7.5 hours over the last 4 years for sure, maybe even more. But when I start focusing on these things and again, peeling back these layers and getting to the root cause and focusing on not stressing as much and all these little things that play a role in your life that are causing harm to our system, whether it's our neurological system or our internal organs and stuff like that. Yes, things like the microplastics and all our chemicals in the world, that probably plays a huge role in testosterone levels, but we're surrounded by that. And over the last few years, it's just been kind of working on not purposely adding more of that into. It's not necessarily saying you have to just all dump all plastics and all that stuff, because it's all around us. There's chemicals in all the foods they make, even if it's organic, whatever. There's plastics and all microplastics and all this metals and all this stuff. That's all around us. But going out of my way to not bring more than there already is. So that type of stuff you really look at. So yeah, I was 37. So I immediately started focusing on sleep and better nutrition when I was working with Cody and getting better. And then a few months later, I get tested again. Let me look, it was in the 200s. So I did this for years, just adding more sleep, focusing on sleep and focusing on better nutrition and better training and less stress. So did that for a few years. So I'm just scrolling through my timeline. By the end of 2000, that same year, it was 250. So then I tested again a few years later, or the next few years, and it wasn't increasing a lot. It was stuck in that 200s, low to mid 200 levels all the time with my testosterone level. And I really started looking at other things because I was pretty dialed in with my nutrition, my sleep. Again, sleep has always been my bugaboo. I've never been the greatest sleeper. It's amazing how much progress I've made. It's because it's that habit of all the bad habits of not sleeping for years, probably 16, 17 till 28, 29. So like 10 years of bad habits. It takes a while to get your body used to wanting to go to bed and wanting to get to bed earlier and getting up at the same time every day. It takes time to do that. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over hundreds of nights. So doing that, but still, I was doing everything right. I was not drinking anymore. I was sleeping. I was eating well. I was training smart and training hard, lifting, sprinting, jumping, training like an athlete, like I do today. But but my levels were still staying the same, and I was still not always feeling the best, still tired and not have the energy and things like that. So I met with a specialist and told him all the things I was doing and how I was, and then he's like, oh, well, we can, because I wanted to get some info on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and kind of went with that and talked and met with him about it, and we kind of came up with trying Clomid, which is a women's fertility drug, but have been used with with good success with guys for increasing testosterone levels. And so and I did that instead of TRT because eventually, like, TRT can cause infertility and eventually I want to have kids or whatnot. So decided to try the Clomid and did that started in like 2021. Looking at my records here, I think that's when I started. I think there's a lot missing in here because I've done more on that, but whatever. Must have two different labels, but yeah. So 2021, did that for a while. Just increase it. So I got tested. I was at a couple times with that. I was in upper 800s or mid 800s, 854 one. Then in the highest was 945. So my testosterone levels were super high compared to what they were. But I still was not feeling the greatest. I didn't notice really any difference when I was on it. Like, I remember just being hungrier all the time and having like cravings for crappy food. But like, there's some people who have can get side effects like growing boobs or whatever. But I didn't feel like the energy levels were like super increased. I didn't feel like I was getting any real benefit out of the Clomid besides my testosterone levels showed up on the test a lot higher. And so and it was expensive. It was like $50 a month for like whatever the prescription. I think I took like one every other day or something. I don't remember what the milligrams was. So I did it for probably a year or so, 6 months. I don't remember. Yeah, let me look. Did it for a year or so, and then my prescription ran out one day, and I just said, "Screw it! I don't want to waste any more money on this." This was kind of during the COVID. Yeah, it was a little after COVID, so business was not the best right now. So I was like, oh, don't want to spend money on it. I'm just going to focus on my sleep and my nutrition and training and stuff like that. So, again, I went off it for whatever. I just stopped taking it or didn't renew my prescription and just started focusing on being more mindful of everything: my nutrition, my health, my stress, my training, relaxing, recovering, more movement, those types of things. And I went back for a blood test, meet with the yearly or bi-yearly checkup or whatever it was I had with the doctor. And my testosterone was 300 something. So it was back, dipped down again. But again, the Clomid wasn't helping. It wasn't doing anything. So I told him that. He's like, oh, well, you're in the normal levels and higher. So why don't we try staying off it for the next 6 months or whatever. So then I did that. Again, that kind of brings me to where we are now. I was off it. And recently went in a few weeks ago, June 24th. And my testosterone levels were 416. So I've increased it without the drugs, without the medication, which is awesome because I feel better. I have more energy. I notice all these things because I'm so used to it. And again, I think a lot of it is just taking time and not rushing the whole process. I feel better. I move better. I think I look better because I'm eating better. I'm sleeping a lot more. I'm prioritizing training and movement, just quality movement every day, getting a ton of steps in and that type of stuff, and just being active and not sitting around being depressed all the time like I was. I enjoy my job. I think that's part of it, is being around active kids and stuff a lot of the time that bring energy and have me feeling more energized. So I think that's part of it. And again, there's so many different things that can, I think, play a role. It's not, as again, it's not bringing in the unnecessary micro toxins and all this crap. Yes, I probably, there's plastic all around and all that stuff. Does it play a role? Probably a little bit, but I don't think it's a huge role. But it's, again, not bringing in more than you're necessarily going to be. So it's not buying plastic water bottles or whatever all that stuff is. So just a more conscious effort of doing it and taking care of my body inside and outside, because feel good inside, look good outside, perform better in your training, in your sports, in your school, in your work. That's what it's all about. Having more energy, having a better attitude, having a better mindset. It can all play a role. When you see like, oh, that number 37, I could have been, oh, I'm down and out. But no, it's like, kick that. And now we're going to find out how to change that. Did I do the Clomid for a little bit? Yeah. Did it get my testosterone levels up? Yeah, they skyrocketed. But again, I didn't see any like noticeable muscular difference. I'm more muscular right now than I was when I was on Clomid, and I actually feel better. I notice my energy is better. I'm not relying on the crutches, the crap that I needed before. Clomid was kind of a crutch too. I can take this and have high testosterone levels, and then I can eat crappier and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't need it. It wasn't making me feel any better. It was just making me have cravings for more junky food. So get off it, do my own thing, and I'm doing better. And my doctors told me I was the first success story of someone coming off of it and raising their testosterone levels. And he was wondering how I did that. And I told him I just focus on sleep. I eat nutrition, I eat nutrition for breakfast. I eat better. I eat quality nutrition, eat real foods 95% of the time, if not more. And I train smart. I do take some supplements. Yeah, I take maca. That's probably played a little bit. I don't know if it's not a supplement. It's actually maca root's a food, but it's in a powder form. So I take that daily. I'm sure that's helped. It's been proven to a lot of studies on that it helps. So taking more natural supplements. That Shilajit, take that. Those are probably two. I mean, besides the regular ones. Creatine, I don't know how much if that's been studied on it, but fish oil every now and then I do that, and then vitamin D. That's basically it. So supplements that have been proven to help, natural supplements that are not garbage. That and again, I do my own research on this stuff and experiment, test stuff on myself, use myself as that N of one, because will some of this stuff help for you? I think a lot of it will. If you have suffering from low testosterone, dialing in your sleep, eating well, training smart, training hard, that's definitely going to help. Will everything help? No, because we're all different. We're all individual. You could do Clomid, you could do TRT, whatever you feel is best for you in your situation. I just want to share my story with it. And then back to how the doctor. So I went in to get the tests. It was, I think it was like a Tuesday morning. I get there already, get right in, which is nice. Lady brings me back to the blood work center and the lady goes, oh, we don't have any orders for you. So apparently they didn't order my blood work. And we just set this up. I was supposed to meet with the doctor the next day to go over in Hastings, and they didn't order my blood work apparently. Or they did, but apparently it expires, because I had to schedule this appointment in January or December for an appointment in June because this guy gets so booked apparently. It's just a waste, just so dumb. But then so they ordered, but they scheduled the appointment after the orders were expired. Apparently orders expire. I don't know why. So why would you schedule my appointment after the orders are expired? But whatever. Luckily enough, I got in a couple hours later that day. So again, I got the blood work done with them. Everything's good to go. Said I was a first success story, which is good. But again, it's it's kind of like the doctors, like they just want you to go on the medication. And I had tried stuff, so I had tried things, and I wasn't getting any higher. So, but I wasn't doing good enough. I could do more, which I'm doing now. But again, their first resort is always medication. Their first resort is never eat better, sleep better, exercise. They don't tell you that stuff. They just want you to take their pills and potions. And some of that stuff, yes, it's going to help. I'm not saying that, but for you, do your research, figure out what's going to work best for you. If you're suffering from low T, start with the nutrition. Start with the eating high protein, eating good quality carbs, eating good quality fats, and eating just real whole nutrient-dense foods. Start with prioritizing sleep. Start with finding exercise that revolves around lifting heavy weights, moving your body a lot, challenging yourself in different ranges of motion, adding in some athletic work, sprinting, jumping, hopping, skipping. You're probably going to be better off than most people. You're going to raise your testosterone that way. And if it comes down to it, if you want to, do TRT, do Clomid. I'm not here to say don't do that, but I'm just saying if that's always the first choice, that's what the doctor is going to tell you, so they can get more of your money, is to take these pills and everything to be on it. So then you're on it and you're stuck on it, and because I don't think the guy was happy when I told him I'd stopped taking it because I was sick of wasting money on it and it wasn't making me feel better. So, but that's just my story. Hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions on low testosterone or anything else I've done to boost my testosterone, let me know. You can drop a comment below or send me an email, trevor@tagpn.com. Other than that, have a great day, guys, and we will talk to you again soon.